I mean, you're a proud democratic socialist. Do you think that is a platform that would work for other candidates running in other parts of the country?
Absolutely.
Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Rita. I hope you are all doing well. So New York, New York, New York.
Are you high?
We got big problems. Not just New York, it's got big problems. A lot of cities, a lot of places. This country has big problems. And why am I saying that? Well, New York just elected in their primary a communist.
And are you a communist?
No, I am not.
I don't believe you.
Are you a communist or a Marxist?
There is not communism or Marxism in our ideas.
They skipped right over Cuomo, which I have no idea why he was running again. Anyway, people had a very bad taste in their mouth because of the whole C-19 situation. So I don't know why he ran again. Maybe this was all a conspiracy, you know, let's put on the tinfoil hat. Maybe this was all a conspiracy just to get this guy into office anyway, to catapult him. But he's not in office yet. This was the Democratic primary, and as it stands, I don't know who else is running against him. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with New York like that, but I do know that this guy wants to cease the means of production for grocery stores.
That we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right? Or whether it is the end goal of ceasing the means of production.
You know, he wants to freeze rent.
I'm Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani, and I'm running for mayor to freeze the rent for every rent-stabilized tenant.
So that means he wants the government to be able to dictate to private property owners what they can and can't do with their own property. This is also trying to seize private property. Now, as we know, if you watch my channel, then you know I have been blowing this horn for a while now. This is not just hyperbole and it's not fear mongering when we talk about communists trying to take over the United States. A lot of people, I think that idea is so far fetched to them and they can't fathom that people would vote in actual communists, but they have been infiltrating our education system for a very, very long time. Some of you would be surprised to learn. Now, New York has a guy who is an immigrant, only got his, 2018, I think. And he wants to cease the means of production. This means government-run grocery stores. So whatever you like or don't like about the DMV or whatever other government services that you have, and anytime you have to interact and go to an office to get something, there is always going to be a wait. There is always going to be lots of bureaucracy. And finally, it is not free. It is not free. What they do is they fleece the middle class. Do not let them fool you into thinking that they are taking money from, they're taxing the rich. No, 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 because the rich, they know you can diversify your portfolio and split up your assets in all sorts of ways, right? Who gets left holding the bag? The middle class. That is who they take all the money from for all of their public, private, social programs. And like I said, government-run grocery store. So take a listen to this guy talk about how he wants his vision for New York.
मैं क्या बनूंगा? बात ये है कि मैं क्या करूंगा हमारे कम्युनिटीज के लिए और हर एक न्यूयॉर्कर के लिए। मैं हमारे शहर को अफोर्डेबल बनाऊंगा। न्यूयॉर्कर्स मुश्किल से अफोर्ड कर रहे हैं रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान। मैं ये सब बदलने के लिए लड़ रहा हूँ। रेंट फ्रीज, फ्री बसेस, यूनिवर्सल चाइल्ड केयर और सस्ती ग्रोसरीज के जरिए। पर आपको एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ। तुमने कभी किसी को वोट किया?
And do not be deceived. This is not just his vision. This is Brandon Johnson's vision in Chicago. This is AOC's vision. All of these people who are waiting for Brandon Johnson's case, who has a nice $1 million pension, waiting for him when he's done with all of this rhetoric about the poor and the socialism and all, you know, and all of this stuff, right? He's got a nice big fat pension. AOC bartender turn millionaire. She also has a nice pension waiting for her. Don't let these crooks who claim that they love socialism and they love, you know, oh, we want to give tax the rich. They are the rich. And this guy who's running for office,
Here's how the Washington Post editorial board wrote about your proposals. They say a massive minimum wage would depress low-skilled employment. His rent freeze would reduce the housing supply and decrease its quality. Cutting bus fares would leave a transit funding hole that, unless somehow filled, would erode service. Meanwhile, the grocery business operates on thin margins, and his plan for city-run stores would probably lead to fewer options, poor service, and shortages.
Remember all of the rioting that was happening in Chicago where they were looting all these grocery stores, and so Target and other stores started saying enough is enough, we're closing up shop, and stores are just closing one after another, and Brandon Johnson just let it happen.
So you're not condoning looting? There's no way to embrace that. What I'm saying is you can't condone the looting that corporations continue to do every single day.
So now, and then after all that happened, all of the activists came out and talked about food deserts and how these evil corporations just want to put poor, destitute Black folk in a food desert. And then guess what Brandon Johnson did? He came out and started talking about government-run grocery stores. This is the plan, people. You create a situation that is unbearable for the people, that is untenable for businesses, especially small businesses, any business to thrive. And then you start to say, well, since these evil corporations and these stingy small business owners don't want to help the poor, then the government, we must step in and we must force you to do it. By what? By using your taxes, all that money that comes out of your paycheck, all those property tax, the money you pay for property taxes. If maybe you're paying $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, you're paying some ridiculous amount for property taxes in the middle class. What they want then is to take your money and put it toward programs.
Out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zohran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you.
Now, let me tell you, actually, I'm not going to tell you. Government-run grocery stores is not a new concept. This is something that they've been doing in Cuba that Fidel Castro instituted. And there is a very awesome content creator in Cuba. His name is Raylon Henry, and I'm going to play a clip for him and let him show you how government-run grocery stores work in Cuba. Watch this.
De las formas en la que compramos comida en Cuba, mejor dicho, una de las formas en la que el gobierno tiene restringida la compra de comida acá en Cuba, que son dos, a través siempre de la libreta de abastecimiento. Una de ellas es siempre en la bodega, que es donde compramos el arroz, frijoles y otros productos que vienen en la libreta de abastecimiento por la canasta básica normada. Y la otra forma es la que estaremos viendo en el video de hoy, que me estoy dirigiendo hasta donde se hace la cola para luego tener acceso a la compra. Pues amigos, para ejecutar dicha compra, que esta se hace mensualmente, la misma consiste en un paquete de perrito, 1 kilogramo de detergente, 1 litro de aceite y un paquete de 1 libra de picadillo. Esta se hace mensualmente, como les dije, lo primero que hay que tener es la libreta de abastecimiento. Sin libreta de abastecimiento no vas a poder comprar. Luego tienes que tener
So for all of you who think that communism is a wonderful thing because it makes everybody equal, yeah, equally starving, except, of course, for the people who get to dictate who gets how much food ration, who gets what in their card, who gets to go to the doctor. Canada is already having a problem with this whole universal healthcare, socialist healthcare situation. They are overrun. And now guess what they're doing? They are offering people the option to, euthanize.
Even if you're not Canadian, you've probably heard that we have a bit of a problem with our assisted regime. Namely, that we keep approving it for poor people, the disabled, or for veterans who are simply seeking help for their PTSD.
It's a lot cheaper to get you off of the government udder, and then just, they don't have to pay for your doctor's visits anymore. I mean, they don't have to pay for your medicine anymore. They don't have to pay for anything if you're gone. Eventually, you start to run out of other people's money. And once you have sucked everything dry, sucked all the resources dry, you expect for people to what? Work for free? Well, there's a word for that. Trying to force production, force people to produce for free. To my New Yorkers who aren't paying attention, because that's honestly what I think it is. I don't think it's a matter of people, a lot of people in these cities who want this. I mean, yeah, there are some, but I think a lot of people have just been working, spend so much time working and so much time focused on just trying to maintain that they don't have time to be listening to be paying attention to everything that's going on in the city council, everything that's going on in the city. A lot of people don't vote. And I think it's because everybody is just trying to get by. Not everybody's trying to get by. A lot of people are, but people are just going on about their day. They're not thinking that they're going to turn into Cuba overnight or Venezuela overnight. But this is how it happens. Slowly and methodically, these people plant their feet in a place and then they start to recruit, just like a cult. They start to recruit others. And the next thing you know, you're working your 9 to 5 or your 2-3 jobs, whatever it is you're doing. You're not paying attention. But these people, milking the government, got all the time in the world to be going to meetings and doing all this stuff and planning and plotting on how they're going to get public-private partnerships with different programs, which means plotting and planning on how they're going to get more of your tax money. Meanwhile, you're trying to work and you look up one day, maybe you missed voting and you think, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. It's all just the same. And the next thing you know, you're being run, the whole country is being run by a real tyrant, an actual one, like a communist one, like this guy in New York. All I can say is, New York, if there's somebody else on the ballot who is not a communist in the actual election, you better get out and you better vote for him.
And contenders for City Hall have their eyes set on the general election for November, and it appears that the gloves are off. Now, that's as Assembly members Zohran, Mamdani, and Mayor Adams, who announced his re-election bid just yesterday afternoon, will go head-to-head.
That's all I can say, because otherwise, I don't know how this is all going to turn out. I don't know how much say or how much Trump can do. I don't know how we even allow that. It seems like treason in this country to allow it, but here we are. We got multiple socialists and communists in Congress. We got Ilhan Omar, we got AOC. Notice how these people are coming out of the closet. This guy is not even calling himself a Democrat. He is so they started off calling themselves progressives. That's how they all started. AOC barely called herself a Democratic Socialist. She had the socialist talking points, but they all run on the Democrat ticket, right? And notice how they're all not even pretending. Brandon Johnson doesn't call himself a Democrat. In fact, he calls all the Democrats, all the previous Democrats in Chicago, he calls them Republicans and closeted conservatives and white supremacists. So notice how these people are not even hiding it. They are not hiding that they are not Democrats. They're not hiding it. They are communist. Every last one of them who are running on this socialist platform, make no mistake, they want to live high on the hog while all the rest of us are serfs. It doesn't matter what color you are, so do not get caught up in this BIPOC, I don't even think they're saying that anymore, this people of color, whatever nonsense. One last thing. This rainbow flag, I've said this in a previous video. I don't know if it was hijacked, but in terms of what it initially being for LGBT, gay rights and all that stuff, I don't know that it was ever for that, but at least gay people thought it was for them. This flag does not represent that anymore. You have to know this. This flag, the fact that they're flying it at government buildings and they're changing names of things, this flag is a revolutionary flag, and it has nothing to do with LGBT. It has everything to do with the communist takeover and the communist revolution of this country. Please believe there is a reason why when these quote unquote these progressives, these democratic socialists, whatever names they want to give themselves, there is a reason why they stomp so hard for that flag. It has nothing to do with your rights as a queer or whatever, queer person or whatever it may be. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with what they're trying to do, which is overthrow this country. Make no mistake about it. So, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you What do you think? Can Trump do anything about this? I know that he is making threats supposedly or whatever. Do you think they're going to get funds restricted? New York? I don't know. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. Until next time, ciao. God bless.